I rode the newest railway lines in the UK and ranked all the stations. This video is sponsored by Saily.
Good morning from the stunning Birmingham New Street. I am here to ride the newest railway lines in the UK, so let's get downstairs and let's get started.
Having descended into the abyss of New Street, I hopped into a train which was going on the new Camp Hill line.
I am now on board my service all the way to Kings Norton, first station, Moseley Village.
We soon left Birmingham's main station and passed by the also very new HS2 side, which will be opening very soon.
So here we are at Moseley Village, closed in 1941, reopened 7th of April. Here I am at Moseley Village. We've got some beautiful weather out today and it looks like quite a nice station. I'm seeing a lot of orange, I must say. We've got two platforms, we've got a footbridge, of course, great for accessibility. So this station used to be called Moseley. However, when it was reopened here after 84 years of closure, they renamed it to Moseley Village for some strange reason.
What else did the station have going on?
We've got some fantastic benches. There's no bright orange here, unlike the lampposts, which are very orange. We've got separated bins so you can put your recycling here and the rest of it here. No glass though. When you leave the station, you come to this very nice new build sort of, not quite car park, but round taxi rank, where there's a big sign in the middle telling you that you are in fact in Moseley Village, where there is an M&S. We've got some cycle parking, of course, with absolutely zero bikes in so far, and some West Midlands ticketing machines, which are always great to see. As the first station that I've been to on this line, I'm going to have to give it quite a high rating. I think this is an easy 7 out of 10. Looks very nice.
And half an hour after I arrived, a train came along to take me to the next station up the line.
And we've just arrived at Kings Heath. King is a very common theme of this line, with there being another station called Kings Norton. Very nice.
This station shared Moseley Village's love for the colour orange, with plenty of lampposts and West Midlands signage.
This line has not been closed since the 1940s. That is a cross-country train using it to go fast to somewhere else.
Indeed, the original stations between Kings Norton and Birmingham were all closed in 1941 as a wartime economy measure, but the line remained open as an alternative route into the city. The Camp Hill line reopened fully on the 7th of April 2026 at a total cost of £69 million.
As with Moseley Village, we've got this whole new build entrance where we've got some bike racks with one bike in it and a nice old-fashioned sign. And at platform 1 at Kings Heath, we've got the most useful signs I've ever seen.
I would say that this station is less interesting than Moseley Village, with a very stock standard new configuration and half-hourly service as with the others on the line, so I would give it a standard 6.
And here we are at Pineapple Road, truly an incredible railway station. It was originally called Hazelwell and was opened in 1903, a bit later than the other stations. It's got quite an interesting footbridge. Let's go and have a look at that.
My cameraman helped himself to some pineapple Fanta,
Absolutely delicious.
as I found a fellow train person and had a look at
Some bus stop style benches. What do we think?
They're very benchy.
They are quite benchy. What do we think of the station?
Pretty chill.
Nice one.
I used the lift to see this cool bridge.
So here we've got the old bridge, which is now Anne Pipe. In keeping with the leaves of a pineapple, we've got a green cycle path. Not sure why, but it's here. This station is quite alright. We've also got that redeveloped sort of bit on the outside. It's much smaller than Moseley Village, but larger than the one at Kings Norton because that doesn't exist.
The service frequency is the regular half-hourly one, but the name elevates it to a 7 out of 10 for me. I soon arrived at the terminus of the line.
And here I am at Kings Norton, the end of the line, but not all the lines, because the Cross City line also passes through here, in which you can go cross city.
The station has a very large footbridge which goes over the abandoned platforms that may see a revival if Camp Hill line trains are sent there. But now it was time to see England's biggest new railway line up in the north.
On my way to Newcastle, I've stopped off here in Birmingham International to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Saily. So what is Saily? Well, it is an eSIM that helps you stay connected in over 200 destinations across the world. And if you're not sure what an eSIM is, it's basically a SIM card that you don't have to put into your phone, making it nice and easy to use. With Saily, just choose a data plan, install it onto your phone, and just like that, you'll have internet wherever you go without any expensive roaming fees. If you've ever been lost abroad or you really badly needed an internet connection, you'd understand the importance of a SIM card, and Saily provides just that. How does it work? Well, you can download it on your phone, whether that be iOS or Android, or any modern phone which accepts the eSIM technology. There are multiple plans in over 200 destinations at some of the best rates that you will find online.
After buying the plan, follow the instructions on the app to install the eSIM and it'll be activated instantly after landing and you'll be able to easily connect to the local network.
And if you would like to save 15% off of Saily, then use code RIGHTTRACK at checkout.
After a little trip, I made it to the north.
Right, I am here at Newcastle, where there is a brand new railway line all the way to Ashington, and there are many new stations along it, so let's go and have a look at those. Newcastle was opened in 1850. It's a very grand station on the East Coast Main Line and offers services to London, Edinburgh, Carlisle, and very newly Ashington.
I soon found the Ashington-bound train, and before I knew it, we were leaving the station.
We are now approaching Northumberland Park.
This station opened its doors in February 2026 on the Northumberland Line, yet it isn't actually in Northumberland, being situated in Tyne and Wear.
So Northumberland Park existed before the Northumberland Line. However, when they built this line, they decided to add an extra platform for their trains, not the metro ones, which actually used to run here, and still do. So we've got a very simple platform here with shelters, benches. Hidden away in the corner, we do have a ticket machine, and trust me, there's plenty of these on this line. If you want to get down to the Northumberland Line platform, you've got these stairs and a lift. So this basically means that Northumberland Park has got one platform here for Northumberland Line services and two for the metro ones. Lucky them, they're also electrified, while this line sadly is not. And would you speak of that, here is a Tyne and Wear metro train looking very snazzy.
I would personally rate this station an 8 out of 10. Not only does it have a half-hourly Northumberland Line service to Newcastle and Ashington, but it also has a brilliant interchange with the metro.
Hello and welcome to Seaton Delaval Station, opened in 2024. So it's been here for quite a while. It's very uninteresting. I mean, we've got one platform over here, we've got a car park over there, and there's really not much else in the shape of a village. We've got lots of fields, but that's not really fascinating, is it?
The line itself was closed in 1964 for passengers and 1965 for good. However, it was still used for freight and continues to do so. The stations on this line were finally reopened to the public in stages from 2024 to 26 at a total cost of £337 million.
The station itself is not visually appealing. I think we've got that sorted, although the countryside around it is nice. I would give it a 5 out of 10. It's quite bland, not very interesting. You know what? You lose some, you lose some.
It wasn't long before I jumped on the next train to see something a bit more interesting. Presently, I got off at Newsham, which opened in March 2025.
This is no fault of the line, of course, but one thing I'm not a huge fan of is the age of these trains. That one's from the 80s, the other one is from the 90s. It's just not very ideal. So what do we have at this station apart from this cheeky shelter and that wind? Two very stock standard level platforms, some bicycle parking, some car parking, and some bus parking if they run. What does crossing between platforms look like at this station?
There is a large accessible footbridge with lifts included, which I used to get to the top.
It's a nice footbridge, you can see the sea, but it is very windy. And interestingly, on the other car park, because we have one here, it is only for electric vehicles. And here is my train onwards to Blythe Bebbside. So what do I think about Newsham? Well, I would say that it is a 7. It's very bland, very uncharacteristic, but we do have the lovely amount of parking and, of course, that footbridge.
A few minutes later, I arrived at the next station and the train loudly rumbled away.
This is Blythe Bebbside, named after the villages of Blythe and Bebbside. It is a perfectly standard 2-platform stop, and you've got a bridge over there.
This station opened in October of 2025 and easily serves the largest population, as the industrial port town of Blythe has 39,800 residents.
Like all the other stations, it's very park and ridey. We have a car park with loads of spaces, I think about 290. This footbridge is very similar to the one at Newsham, almost identical I think, and it's got that same old brick texture, which looks alright I think.
I would say all of this combined makes the station an 8. We crossed the River Blythe and soon arrived at Bedlington.
And this is Bedlington, just before Ashington. It is the penultimate station on the line and also the newest, having opened on the 29th of March 2026. Bedlington is next to a level crossing, as you can see here, and it is the only way for people to switch platforms, so there's no lift and nothing else of that sort, making it quite unique. And I don't even know if they're supposed to be building these in the year 2026. Also making this station quite interesting is the presence of the old station building. It has not been renovated, but it has a poster hung up on it, and the station has got not one, but 2 signal boxes. Interestingly, this is where the line splits, with one half going off to Ashington and the other to Morpeth on the East Coast Main Line. They're considering running some services through from Morpeth to this station, and who knows, it might happen soon.
This arrangement makes makes the station layout at Bedlington a bit odd, with staggered and curved platforms.
If you want to enter the platforms, you've got the step-free access here, very nice, and over here you've got the steps. So, what are my thoughts on Bedlington? Well, I would give it an 8 out of 10. Yes, I know. It's got 2 platforms, we've got a signal box, we've got 2 railway lines, one of which may be used in the future. I quite like it, and we've got that abandoned station building too.
As the train raced over the Wansbeck Viaduct, I felt sentimental that my journey to these new stations was almost over. I was also looking forward to getting off the 40-year-old diesel trains that somehow still operate on the Northern network.
So this is Ashington. It's a 1-platform station, although who knows, that might change in the future. And all the trains come and terminate here, even though the tracks do go over under that bridge.
The tracks do run all the way to Linemouth Power Station, and there are disused bits which run to New Biggin and the East Coast Main Line.
So what do we have here at the end of the line so far at Ashington? A huge car park, a ticket machine, we've got a cheeky shelter, bike racks, and because the station is of course a little bit piddly, we've got some buffers. As with the other stations on this line, it was closed in 1964, but this one was one of the first to reopen in 2024. So what would I give Ashington? I think this station deserves a solid 7 out of 10. It is only 1 platform, which does limit growth slightly, but this could change if they do extend the line to New Biggin and to Morpeth. I think that it's a good station, of course a fantastic line. It is absolutely brilliant to see this reopened fully, and I look forward to seeing more of these projects happen across the UK.
Don't forget to go to saily.com/righttrack or use code RightTrack at checkout for 15% off.
Just talking to no one and crossing a road, it's great stuff. Are you still filming me?